What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of Them Nerds. This episode, in fact, is part 2 of 2 that has to do with WandaVision episode 8. If you have not already checked it out, we did a recap episode where we basically ran down the episode and talked about some of the big events that happened. Spoilers from here on out, in case you were worried about that. Don't forget, we are giving away this Wanda Funko Pop at the conclusion of the season, which is next week already. Holy cow. Stay tuned at the end of the video to learn how to get that particular item on your shelf. Your wife will love it. We've already established this. All right.
Spouses love toys.
That's right. That's right. All right. So we already recapped this thing. Jerry, move your gorgeous noggin for a second. Behind Jerry is Jerry is the White Vision. The White Vision isn't just my nickname. It's
wasn't just what I was known by in high school.
The White Vision was the end credit reveal from episode 8. We got to see all kinds of cool stuff on this episode. Let's talk about the big moments and let's connect those to what we already thought was going to happen, connect those to what we think might happen, and kind of give nods to Easter eggs and so forth. All right. And Jerry's just overcome by the humor of my nickname. It's my nickname, the White Vision. Oh my God. All right. So starting from the beginning of the episode, of course, we're down in this dungeon that you see here.
It's a step up from White Devils.
Yes, that's my other nickname. Some people give me that nickname. So we're here in the basement, okay? We're down here, getting out our Christmas decorations. No, we're not. We're down here with devil stuff. So as we talked about in the recap, Agatha pulls a full-on Ghost of Jacob Marley and drags Wanda through all these moments from her life, right? So let's talk about each one of those moments and kind of talk about the significance. First one, we talked about the bomb not exploding, right? Which allowed us to learn that Wanda was in fact, she had these powers from birth, or at least from the time she was a very young child. Jerry, where's that going to take us? What's the significance of her being born with these powers?
Well, she's born with these powers, which is something that was kind of alluded to in I'm trying to think of what, maybe it was Age of Ultron. They were talking about how they were special children. But I would say that this means that they were mutants. There was something there that, Wanda herself, she wasn't born with the ability to have magic. She had basic telepathy and telekinesis. She was touched by a god, basically, and he marked her so that later on, if he got into trouble, he would have vessels throughout Earth that he would be able to take their bodies. And this demon, basically, a demon god, has the power of chaos magic. And so this would be a hint to me that maybe there is a little bit more to this backstory of Wanda and, Wundagar altogether.
That's right. So speaking of chaos magic, that was another of the big reveals that came at the end of the episode, which we can jump around because we've already recapped this doggone thing. Yeah. So end of the episode, as we see my new favorite actress, Catherine Hahn. She's so amazing in this. I'm super into it. She is flying up in the air and she's holding Wanda's twins in these arcane leashes and threatening to basically choke them. And she says something about Wanda she should not have this level of chaos magic. And she refers to her almost as if she is prophesied as the Scarlet Witch.
Which I think is kind of maybe true because, in the comic lore, when you have entities that are going to take over your mutant body, such as Jean Grey with the Phoenix, she had premonitions of, you see that bright yellow light and the Phoenix figure coming out of it. That was before she ever went evil or anything else. So these more powerful mutants that are on Earth, they do a lot of times they have these prophecies beforehand of what they're going to be, which leads me to believe that that scene where she touches the stone in her head, or how it happened that nobody else saw it, she saw into the future and saw herself. And if that leads back to so many Marvel movies we've already seen, when in Thor Endgame, when they go to back to Asgard to get the stones or the ether, his mother
Dark
stops
World.
him.
Thor Dark World?
No. This is in Endgame. When his mother, they go to pull the ether out of Natalie Portman's character.
Gotcha.
And Big Thor's trying to hide from everybody, and his mother comes over to him. Huh?
Healthy what? Thor.
Yeah, healthy BMI Thor. They go over and she stops him and she says, I know you're not my son. And he said, well, how do you know that? And she says, I was raised by witches. Because witches are supposed to be able to see into the future. They have the ability to be able to do that. Right. So I think that's kind of was awakened when she looks into the future. She sees herself.
Yeah. Super cool scene. And if you go back and watch the recap video that we just posted, you'll see that Jerry's background is that capture of that figure coming out of that bright light, and you see the sort of horns and flowing dress that are synonymous with the Scarlet Witch character. So I think that we're going there.
What I like about what we've seen, even in this image that you're looking behind you right now, Agatha has her hand up and you see the blue magic behind her in her hand. Yet when you look over at Scarlet Witch, look behind her in that bookcase, it's the red glow is kind of going off of her. Mm-hmm. So they have a way that there's going to be all these mystical people within the MCU now, but each kind of magic has its own look. Agatha's power is drawn from the dark world. That's why it has that blue haze. And we've seen that before with Dormammu. And I can never think of the guy's name that was in that same movie, but with the blue eyes that had the magic. Their magic was all this like blue base, kind of blue purplish base magic. Also, the character from Runaways, her magic also comes from the dark worlds. And so
Nico Minoru.
Yeah.
I hope this brings us Nico Minoru, by the way. I was thinking that last night. I forgot to mention it to you when we were texting, but that was like, I was like, I hope she pops out of a door somewhere on episode 9.
Doctor Strange, his powers are all a yellowish orange color. That's because they're sorcerers. And so they borrow magic from other people. They borrow spells, and that's what causes it, to be able to happen for them. So they're basically, they're borrowers of other people's magic. Right. Now, Wanda has this red glow to her, and that's because she has chaos magic. Her magic is the most powerful magic that there can be. People for the longest time thought that magic didn't even exist. Sorcerers didn't know they existed. Agatha obviously had no idea that it existed. It should not exist. Right. It has the ability to do anything. She can create worlds. She can destroy worlds. She can create worlds within worlds, create pathways into worlds. That's why we're getting characters like Fox's Quicksilver here. And, right. I still think that there's a possibility that now we know that there's the white vision that we see here in this episode, that somehow she's going to be able to put the thought pattern from the one she made up into that character and get her soulmate back.
Yes. I was going to say in the last episode, but I thought, no, we'll save it for this. There's a scene from all of the teasers and trailers where Vision says something like, "This is our home. Let's fight for it."
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet, right?
No.
Okay. So the only Vision that we're most likely going to see entering the Hex is this white synthezoid version of Vision. And one has to assume that there is going to be some kind of a moment. Either he's tricking Wanda or Wanda has converted him into legit real Vision. And that's how we get him back. But it definitely seems like this, white version of Vision is going to morph into the Vision we know.
Maybe when Wanda breaks into the sword, facility and she touches his head and she says, "I just don't feel him." Maybe her doing something to him at that time awakens something in him when he does turn into the white version of the Vision. Especially seeing though they had this body for 5 years, yet there wasn't a whole lot of destruction done to him in 5 years. You've been trying to create this. You didn't create that synthezoid in 9 days. No. So it leads me to believe you were trying to get something out of that visit that you knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a little too convenient that they were sitting there sawing away at the body and pulling wires out of the body
yeah.
right there when Wanda was visiting. And yeah, like you said, they've had it for that many years, and now they're just now getting through. That didn't sit right with me either.
And if you notice, a lot of like the stuff that they're doing is like to inanimate parts, like, oh, let me cut off a finger, let me remove an ankle. Like there was no like damage being done to the head or anything else,
Right.
So I think there's a good chance that that's what's going to happen there. I also think that, like I said, I've been pretty adamant on it that Disney and Marvel, they've learned their lessons from I was going to say the Mandalorian, but that's not the Mandarin. People got very, very angry with the Switch. This idea that because they all love the idea of the casting. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's dead on. The casting's dead on. Blah blah blah. And then to be like, oh no, this is just an actor. This isn't the real one. People didn't like that.
No. People
aren't going to be happy with the idea that you got us invested in, the original Quicksilver. Then you killed him off in one episode when everybody wanted Hawkeye to die. And you bring him back, and you bring back a character that is loved within this franchise just to kill him off or make it be like, oh, he was just some random skater. No, this is going to be him.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to make the decision that even though he knows that that's not his sister, that she is his sister.
Right. There were so many moments here that like harkened back to other things or, made us think of other things. But the thing that I'm most looking forward to now is episode 9. They have to wrap this thing up. And like we talked about this, we did a Facebook Live talking about this. Where is this ending? What is going to be the big button up at the end here to make this a satisfying ending? I know they can because they're
I think that you're going to have. There's going to be 2 battles. I'm positive of. There's obviously going to be a Agatha battle, and then there's obviously going to be against the synthezoid white version of Vision that I just see being able to either be able to turn him into Vision or be able to give Wanda some kind of closure off of the death of Vision. Yeah. And I don't know whether or not the boys make it even out of this. I obviously know the boys will be here at some point, but that's how it happens in the comics too. The boys don't make it out alive. Right. So that kind of leads her down further into this ability to have this, this breakdown. It's actually, Billy's ability to he also has magic at birth, and he's the one who creates a way for them to be able to come back in the very end.
Right.
So I would love that idea that, that give us like a X-Men style, animated series where you got Quicksilver, Vision, Billy and Tommy, Monica and Wanda all flying towards Agatha to go attack. That would give me every feels I've ever had for any franchise of any show that they put out. This is, to see that idea of them running after the character. That'd be so great.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to get some kind of original X-Men cameo. And I'm hoping that I'm right because, I was really hoping for White Vision and I got that.
There you go. You get the White Vision every week right here on YouTube. So, all right, let me give you my Christmas list. These are the things that I must see. Okay. I need a payoff for the engineer. We didn't get anything about the engineer this time. And I have a feeling we're going to get it this time. And by the way, again, this is spoiler stuff, right? And the big word making the rounds is that it's going to be Blue Marvel. Okay. If you guys haven't checked it out, I put up a video a few days ago about Blue Marvel, who he is, why he might be connected to the show, and so on. That's not who I want, but I'm happy if they do introduce that character because it's a great character, and I think they could make it could be a successful franchise all on its own. Yeah. But I'm still holding out hope that it's not. I'm holding out hope that it's going to be Reed Richards, but it is what it is. So that's number one for me. Number two, I got to see Professor X or Magneto. I don't feel like you give us in episode 8, Wanda is a mutant, basically, without using the word mutant. has these innate abilities from birth. You don't tell me that and then not give me the payoff of Magneto or Professor X.
Yes.
Maybe I'm like fanboying this too hard, but like I want to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, I would prefer seeing the Ian McKellen and or Patrick Stewart versions, but that may be holding out too much hope. Fassbender's a great Magneto, so I would love to see him. Maybe it's needed. Maybe they're going to bring us a brand new Magneto or a brand new Charles Xavier who we've never seen before. I don't know, but I feel like those characters need to be. They would be like the big like holy crap moment, and it would give us the on ramp to this whole new exploration of Wanda and her abilities and other people who have these abilities from birth.
Yeah, I think that we were talking about there's that new movie coming out into the multiverse of madness. I would love the idea that the movie ended with Ian McKellen coming out and taking Wanda and Pietro and Billy and Tommy through a portal into a different world, and we think that's the last time you see him, and then somehow she gets pulled back in through that movie. I think that people just automatically assume we're going to end this series with her, walking away with the Sorcerer Supreme, but that's not a guarantee. One thing I definitely know is this: I don't care what happens to anybody else in that town. I've built no significant, affection for any of them. I need to know what Dottie is. There's something there.
Yes.
If we all remember, everybody has a place card on that wall. Dottie did not.
And we were given the big like, hey, look at this character on
Devil's in the Details.
The second episode, third episode.
Yes, it was the second episode at the pool party. You've seen her smelling the flowers. One thing I noticed is that when we're driving through the town, you see all the significant characters that we met so far in the town. Dottie was not there.
Nope.
Who else wasn't there? Agatha. So,
yes. Do you want to unveil to the world the theory that you texted me last night?
That I think it's Agatha, that I think it's Agatha's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Jerry had that theory that maybe she's there. She's been tracking Agatha all these years, and
Agatha thinks she has the one up on Wanda, whereas her mom has the one up on Agatha. She's like, you've been walking. It wasn't hard to follow you. You've been wearing that tracking device you stole from my corpse.
Yeah, it's my necklace, bitch.
I got LoJack on that. Just walks up and snatches the necklace off. My damn necklace.
Give me that. Oh, just wand leaves.
That's all I came for.
Just the necklace.
Just like an ungrateful child pulling my jewelry off my dead body.
I wasn't even cold yet, Agatha.
I wasn't even in the ground.
I don't know what they're going to bring us in episode 9, but I am completely confident that it's going to be awesome.
Well, here's a little spoiler. Not so much on this series, but kind of leading off it. I have read that the Russos have made comments that they are not far off of coming back to the superhero world. And before they left, they made it very clear that the only reason why they would come back is to introduce the X-Men into the MCU. So it leads me to believe that we're well on the way of starting to see these characters popping up. So I would not be surprised that Kevin Feige, I never say his name right. I don't know him, so I don't know him well enough, so I don't need to know it. But
I don't know him.
His first big franchise that he worked on. Well, yeah, he worked on Spider-Man with them too, but he was minimal in it. X-Men 1 was the big one for him. So I would not be surprised if he wants to at least pay homage to one of the big characters from that movie. Whether they never go on any further, I think we will see before the end of the next episode either Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen, even if it's for 30 seconds.
I hope. Yeah, you mentioned the Russos.
Drop the mic. He rolls off.
Right. You mentioned the Russos. One of the two brothers, I can never remember which one it was. Joe, Bob, Billy, Pete.
Patrick Stewart rolls. Professor X's rolls in a sense. He gives Wanda. He serves her with paper because she did not make that town handicapped.
I guess chaos magic doesn't have ADA compliance, Wanda. Apparently, my Professor X is
still Sean Connery.
Connery, the X-Men. But anyway, One of the Russos was in an interview recently, and they said somehow the conversation came around to, what hero did he never really get to work? Did he never get to direct and bring to the screen? And he specifically mentioned Wolverine. So who knows? I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. Kevin Feige knows.
Like how when they re-released the Star Wars movies, how they started just like interjecting, like putting new CGI, Yoda in and stuff like that. Re-release some of the early Captain America, and when you do it this time, you just see a Wolverine running past the screen of the new character you're going to do. Like do it at the 20th anniversary, the 15th anniversary, the 10th anniversry. Just give us something. Like this show, if anything, it has got us all chomping at the bit. And we wait next week. We got the finale. We're all going to be disappointed for 1 week. And we're going to be starting right again with a new series with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's right. Cannot wait for that. Thanks for bearing with us and our nerdiness today. We want to remind you one more time.
Thing I did here today too. One more spoiler for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Supposedly, somebody that works for SWORD will also be appearing in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that we're going to see Wu taking over and going into that show too. He'll be in Madripoor.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I would also love to see you guys commenting and liking and subscribing so that you can win this Wanda Funko Pop. All you have to do is interact with us. Yeah. All you have to do is interact with us on social media or here on YouTube. And that's going to do it for us for this episode. We'll see you again very soon, especially next week when we are going to break down so much about this finale. And hopefully you'll join us. Thanks, guys. Be good. Be good to each other. Later, nerds.
Nerdy.
Stay nerdy.